How you doing, everyone? Val and Geezer and Bruce and Abdul and Dominic and hi, there's something. David, hi, how are you? Oh, good. Um, is the sound in the video okay? Hey, GMT Master, how you doing? Oh, good morning. I got up real early and I thought, well, I'll have plenty of time to get everything done, and I got behind. Oh, um, building a Franken FP Journe resonance. You did not FP Journe nothing. Took him 7 years to get it right, and I'm doing it during the quarantine. Hi, Adam. Um, Hi, Crappy. How you doing? Oh, well, how's everything going? I I I, I think I've come to not accept so much as to getting more and more use not to going anywhere and not, just sort of going through stuff. But I've discovered lots more stuff to tinker with. And I've also run into people, the kind I'm talking about. They got to have an opinion about everything. And a lot of time, I've got a relative that way. Anyway, no matter what it and a neighbor. So they're like they're experts on everything. So no matter what you ask them about, they're an expert on it. And I've been running into this. It's on some of these people is that I put something up and they go, what about this and this and this? Either one, it's irrelevant, or two, it's misinformed, and then I got to go through all of this stuff and sort of put it back together again. And I don't know. And the best part though, what was it? The other day I found out that I was wrong about something, and it was, most people, oh no, I was wrong. Not me. Uh, that skinny watch I found out was really $300,000 or something like that, instead of like around 20, which is still a lot. And but it wasn't advertised or wasn't posted, and at least where I was looking, and finally it was. But I don't know, it's sort of like this is a good time, sort of, for a timeout to play around, to do different things. And so I started tinkering with the my two residents, with my two movements, to see if I could achieve resonance. And the first attempt wouldn't work, and I got to get them closer. Now, there's other kinds of things going on beside proximity, and apparently there's some kind of single plate. And one suggestion, which really wasn't a bad suggestion, except for one thing, says, why don't you take a piece of metal and weld it to the top of the two balance cocks? And I thought, no, I don't want to do that, because if I do that, I won't be able to see the residents. That's the whole point of it. And so, but underneath, I think I'd like to, put it on something so I can then adjust the proximity of it. Now, how much proximity you need, I'm not sure. One of the things on my FP Jordan resonance, so I noticed that there's, for adjustments, they have a little screw, and one of them is on a pivot. And so what happens is that you have these two, and then the one on the pivot, you loosen the screw and then you move it either closer or away from the other balance. So all kinds of stuff. So anyway, hey Junior, how you doing? And Tony, um, okay. Oh, Geezer, adding us something. Okay, Geezer's gonna pull the trigger on something. Don't do it. Hey Abraham, how you doing? All right. Okay, Geezer, what are you thinking of? Let's see. What and that's something I don't think so. I don't I think there's one of the laws against getting any watch thing that I've made. Um Okie doke. Yeah, everybody's here. Hi Lee, how you doing? Chris, hi, how are you? Ian, good morning. Tom. Uh if Jeff were here, I'd give him a hard time about something, but since he's not here, I'll say something about it. I was watching the news this morning, and they're opening the Disney World or Disneyland, whatever it is, in Shanghai, and they were showing how they all of the stuff that they have there, and I'm thinking, ah, with reopening a Disney World, and then they said, well, this is what they're going to do is that they have these little yellow blocks to keep people spaced out. We used to use something else to be spaced out. Anyway, and then they only allow about a third of the people in. When my kids were young, we'd go to Disneyland or Disney World. I think which one? I think we went to both. And the thing of it is that everything was so crowded. It was really crowded. And so I'm thinking, it's sort of there's the upside of all of this other kind of stuff we've been going through. Oh, hi, weekday hustle. How you doing? Hey, Sean. Lee, how are you? Hey, Clyde, how are you? On a related note, uh, fried fried bat has been taken off the concession stand menu, huh? So, no more fried bat. Jesus. Oh, well, that's a break for the bats, I guess. Um, anyway, so I've been looking for different projects, and I was looking at my double my double those two movements. I got the 6497 clone, and so I started thinking about it, and um, Fed said, "Look, what you can do is you can just uh, take the screw off the what's it called the balance cock and pull the whole thing out, and out comes the balance spring, and it's sort of a whole thing comes swinging out in one fell swoop, and then you have to put it in." And make sure that what is it called? The pallet fork hits the dingy thing that flips the wheel back and forth. And so I thought, well, I've broken enough of these. I'll take one of my broken ones and practice taking it out and putting it back in again. So anyway, so there's more stuff to do, and there'll be a lot for me to learn about. Oh, yeah, hey Lee. So anyway, that's sort of a fun project. The idea of I've taken them all apart and put them back together again, and the hardest part is always the last part, and that's where you have to put the hairspring and the balance. I'll call it sort of like a little module that you stick in there, and then you wait until the thing's working. Okay. Hey, Blaine, the dinghy thing, is that French? Yes, Blaine, that's French. It's southeastern French. It's not spoken all over the place. A lot of people don't know it. All right, let's see what else was on the menu this morning. Um, Hoping this week to hear from now Weekly Hustle. I don't know own a Rolex. Haven't my Prince has not yet come. Still looking for my other. It's searching for my shoe. Um, if you could watches from only one brand, what watches would that be? Oh, that's easy. Philippe Dufour. Second choice would be Roger Smith. That would be it. Unfortunately, I can't have either one of them, and so I go out and I find things like movements in Jacquet. Oh, whoops. Okay, a couple things here we talked about. Um, uh, Today, I'm replacing the SSD in my trash can Mac Pro with one that has been in storage and speed. Okay. I should join the Holy Trinity. Well, um, I've got a Vestron Constantin and a Patek Philippe there weekday. And I tell you though, I wouldn't mind having. I used to have a Audemars Piguet, but got rid of it because it was too small. Worked like a charm though. Hi, Kaz, how you doing? I'm in sidelines today. Aha. You didn't specify watch tinkering. Ah, you're right. Sorry, Clyde. Clyde's absolutely right. Um, I'm working on a nuclear pile. That's okay. We can talk about that as well. Have you owned a Breguet? No, there's a Breguet I want too, Val. I'd really like to get the that tradition, the one that looks like one that Abraham Breguet made. That's what I like. But when I was, I don't know what they're around what 10,000 or something like that on a really good deal. The Fifth Avenue Breguet uh, boutique that I went to, they gave me a bunch of books and stuff about it, and that was but 38,000 is what they wanted, which is ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous, especially for me. It may not be for other people, and they're beautiful watches. There's no doubt about it, and I like everything about them. And if I find one that's the right price, same thing with. I was talking to James, whose reviews, his collection review we just had yesterday. Anyway, James and I sort of have the same view. We're sort of waiting for a gondolo that's just right to float by, or or some other watch. Just sort of keeping an eye out for it. That's if you had to say, okay, um, I'm I'm looking for a watch, and I know which one it is. In fact, I'm looking for several. I can tick them off right now. Um, a Rolex. What are they called? They're called Cellini Rolex Prince. That's one. Second is a Breguet Tradition. Third is Zaza Lacouture True Second. That's probably it would be. This is in no particular order, and the reason it's in no particular order, you never know when something's coming by. I'm always on the lookout for a watch with a Jacquet 736 in it, and I found two. One guy refuses to negotiate, and Fed told me um, that the guy was not being exactly reasonable, so he can use it for a doorstop. Because I gave two really decent offers to the guy. I mean, the first one he said no, so I upped it and up to a certain point where it just was mm. Okay. So what let's see, what watches do you guys have 3 watches that you're sort of looking for? I mean, that's it's sort of like maybe you can't afford it now, but at some other time, but it's realistically, you're saying, if I see this thing at X amount, I think I'll put an offer in for it. And you have 3 watches like that. Another one too that, well, 2 more, Vacheron Constantin Quadrille, stainless steel, the same thing with a, Historique 1942, I think, the triple calendar. I like all of those as well. Okay. I would never buy from boutique. Me neither, Kaz. Un- unless unless it was a really good reason, and I haven't got one yet. Um, I sort of might buy from the FP Jorn Boutique because I know the guys there and they've been really nice to me. And I have bought watch bands from them, so I don't know if that counts or not. And they're expensive. They were like, I don't know, 400 or 500 bucks a pop. Same thing at the Harry Winston boutique. They have 2 of them now on Fifth Avenue. One's right across the street from the other. What happened when Swatch bought Harry Winston? They decided they had to have all of their top brands right next to each other on Fifth Avenue. So if you go there, if you're coming up from like 45th Street, going up on the right side up toward Tiffany's, there'll be first of all there's a Block Pond, then there's a Breguet, and then there's a Harry Winston on the corner. Even though right across the street there's a Harry Winston, Swatch paid around $1 billion to acquire Harry Winston, and the Harry Winston never did have its own movements, and so there was that. On the one hand, it made it interesting, and on the other hand, a lot of people didn't take it seriously. But from what I've been able to discern is that they're going with Blanc Pond movements, which is Frederick Piguet. Okay, hey Adam, what's up? Let's see. I have only one. Any non-white dial Moser. I see one for a good price. I'll snag it. Adam, I tell you, man, that's a good one to go after. That's the thing I really like about them. I saw one that Clyde had got, the small seconds, a Mayu slash Endeavor, and I saw one for about $5,000 or $6,000 more than what Clyde got his for. I was going to send it to him. This is a good move, Clyde. Here's one, the same one you got, except at $5,000 or $6,000 more. So, I, you yeah, that's a neat one. Non-white dial Moser. Adam, the uh, I generally like white dials, but I like more of a cream colored one. And most of my watches, very few of them have a darker one like this. This one I happen to like because the gold and the brown work together. You can see even on this screen, it's not hard to tell where the hands are on that. Okay, 3 watches I am actually considering. Dumerte chronograph, Moser perpetual calendar, Reverso Tribune, chocolate dial, bonus choices, MB&F legacy machine, Deboon, anything, FP Journe, Chronomet, Optimum. Oh man, those are that looks a lot like my list too. the I don't know. There's some that I've decided are unrealistic, not unrealistic in terms of what they are, but I'd have to be very lucky. For example, if all of the watches that I named that are sort of have an eye out for, if I saw an FP Journe Optimum, Chronomet Optimum within hand grenade distance, I'll probably go after it. But some of them, they're not even in there. Opaline, yeah, yeah, I like yours, Clyde. You got a heck of a deal. There's a shout out also to Fed because he's the guy that provided it. Hi, James. There you are. Top three on my wish list: Open Dial Steel Audemars Piguet Millinery. Hey, there you go. Salmon Dial Gondolo 3. Same here. That's another one I like. Roger Dubuis Homage. I like all of those too. I I tell you, I have a my list keeps expanding, and it's more like, like I said in the video, you're sort of sitting by a stream and different things are floating by, and some of them are in reach and some of them aren't, and some of them that are in reach you really don't want. So always keeping an eye out for something fun like that. Um, I like the Blue Fumet. Yeah, me too, Adam. I like that as well. Mine are Moser Pioneer. I like that one. A Longa Saxonia. It's another one I like. Patek Philippe Annual Calendar Chronograph. That's whew. Blaine, let's see. If it's not too personal a question, what is the upper limit you'd be willing to pay for a watch? Oh, there's sort of like, how much does the divorce lawyer cost versus how much does a watch cost? I don't know. My upper limit, I would probably say 30. 30 would be the absolute top, but I've come within about 3,000 of that, but that's about it. But that would have to be really spectacular. Something like, for example, a Gronfeld's Remontois 1941, something like that. But right now, my top one that I want that I would enjoy is, more like 10. And I'd rather do that. I don't know why. I just, when there's sometimes, um, you look at things and you say, what am I going to do? Take it with me? Or another times you look at something and say, this is something I want to do something else with that. It would be like, when you get around those things, there are other things I'd like to have that aren't watches, like a Morgan. I go run out and get a Morgan. A Morgan three wheeler would even be more fun. Um, because some of these watches, like one of my watches, went up to over 60,000, and I didn't pay that much for it, but it's sort of been taken off ever since. And then they came out with some new ones that were even more expensive, and so mine went up too. Um, but I don't buy watches for investment. Someone says, "Oh boy, your watch went up. You make a lot of money." No, no, I can't, because I can keep the watch, and I'd rather have the watch than the money. Okay, that's surprising. I would have thought many pieces in your collection are worth more than that. Yeah, Blaine, they are, but I, you know, they're worth a lot more than that. But I've been very fortunate. I'll put it that way. All right. I've been able to get some very nice watches for very good prices. Hi, Airtoad. What's up? A bit off topic, but any tips specific to getting an update to an old collection review? I've started pulling together material for an update to review number 63. Airtoad, listen, I've done a lot of updates on reviews. Uh, uh, when people get new watches, in fact, I think this coming Sunday there's going to be an update with so that, yeah, I do. It's like if there's like two or three watches that have been added, I can do a little vest pocket on that one. But if it's some of them have added like 10, 12 more watches. Hey, Eddie. Hey, Mark, how are you? Boy, it is really morning where you are, Mark. Early bird. Hi, Lee. If I had to pick three watches, my choice would be Omega Deville. That's a nice one. I like that. Glashütte Original 60s. Very nice. Rolex Oyster Perpetual. I've come to like the Rolex Oyster Perpetual too. Sort of I still I like to see that as the original sports watch, the one that went up on top of Mount Everest with Sir Hillary, even though he wasn't wearing it, but it somehow got up there and kept on ticking. Um, Wish I had a granddad. Yeah. Well, you know what you'd get? Where is it? I'd make a watch for you and give it to you. Where's my? I thought I had one right here. Here it is. Um, this is one. Here you go, son. That thing, and this thing it keeps incredibly good time. It's got a what is it? 6497 clone in it by Siegel. Um, and so it's got a great back. Look at how well that fits. None of these little bitty movements for a big case. Speaking of which, after we hear from Tom Austin, I like the Lang Datograph. Whoa, Tom, that is a super watch. I like that too. And Roger's Sympathy. You know, I do too. That the Roger Dubuis Sympathy. I like that a lot. That's a cool watch. I don't like black dials. Not that it's just I can't see as well. But one of my favorite ones, my new favorite ones, is a Patek Philippe 6000, and that's got a black. They all have black dials. Cartier Moon Pusher. I know that one. Uh, and the clock. What clock? I bought several watches since your review, Abdul. I think I'll send you an email with the pictures end of the month. Okay, still working on two new ones. That figures. Haven't been able to make the last few days. Any new developments on the project? No, we're gonna have a. Oh, that's something else I got to put up on High Horology Lounge. They have a contest. Everyone who was talking about I did. This is a latest version that I came up with, and people liked it and didn't, and everyone's got an opinion, which is good. And so I thought, well, why not? We'll have a contest, and you hear the limitation. You got a jumping hour at 6 o'clock, and then you've got a retrograde minute from 9 to 3. And so let's see what you do, and you can use any kind of hand you want because the hand is not going to go you know, around and around and around. We really don't know because when I put in the request to Nicholas Vitarek, I said, well, these are the two ideas we had. One was the three-hander with the center seconds, and the other one was this one, which was because what I was thinking, maybe we could get this the thing that the Van what are they? Van something and Arpels. We get something like that. Except we wouldn't have to pay $25,000 for it, which I thought would be sort of cool, and without the dual time. What size is the case for 6497? Uh, I tell you, I'd have to get out my caliper, Mark. I'm not sure. On the subject of design, is a golden ratio applied to the watch design? Ooh, Blaine, what a great idea. If you could figure out a way to do that, that would be really cool. Now, see, we're, boy, what will we have for the golden ratio? What will we have? Where would the golden ratio be applied? Um, that would be really very interesting. Um, any ideas on that? Hey, Rich Buddy, how you doing? Would it be loony to buy an ellipse? They're growing on me. Rich Buddy, same here with those. There was a really extensive article in the oh no, if you have a Patek Philippe, you get a free subscription to the Patek Philippe magazine. And a couple issues ago, they had a really extensive thing on the ellipse, and that has always been my least favorite Patek Philippe. But like you, they started. The more I looked at it, the more I thought, that's sort of interesting. That's a really interesting idea. But I don't know. It's one of those watches I wouldn't mind having, but I got too many other ones I want that are further up in line. But the trick, Rich Buddy, where is the golden ratio in the ellipse? I took calipers. I even have, this is something I tell you, this is a great thing that I got here. See this thing right here? It when you put these two points on the sides, and this one will go to where the golden ratio is. For the let me show you how this works. They have another hand in there that I took off. This is really cool. I got this on Amazon. So when you go like that, this thing moves too, and the golden ratio is between here and here, and either here and here or here and here. I forgot which. I think it's between the shorter one, but it's the what 1.62 something like that. And this device just finds it. It's sort of a fun thing to have. But like I said, I got it on, and this is what's funny about it. It's called an eyebrow balance ruler. I thought it was like, what? And what essentially it does, I guess, people who worry too much about their eyebrows, it does something they to to get your eyebrows in a, I don't know, either golden ratio or something like that. But essentially, this is what it does. It comes up with a golden ratio, but it's called the eyebrow balance ruler. Wild stuff. Um, Yeah, Dominic, it's sort of I'd never seen it before, and I was reading about it, and it said, "Oh, it'll give you the golden ratio." And oh boy, oh crappy, not the Golden Corral. Ugh. That's a feedlot like they have in Chicago right before they slaughter the cattle. They put them in a Golden Corral. Yeah, an eyebrow too. Oh man, trailer park ratio. You might want to take a look at the super ellipse by Piet Hein. I'm no mathematician, but I think you'll find the answer there. The thing of it is that it's a simple formula. Um, let me see if I can remember it. Um, no, I can't. But it, no matter what, uh, you can simply use 1.62 as or divide that by uh, by whatever number you have. It's a fun thing, and why 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 it's been used since Greek time, and how and they came up with a formula for it, and really weird. Soup Plantation Buffet went out of business. So did Golden Jim over there. Okay, not sure how buffets can actually be justified anymore. Oh my God, yeah, that's really weird. When I was in college, we'd go to all you can eat um, buffet until they threw us out. They wouldn't let us. We After going back for the fifth time, out we went. Two quantities are in the golden ratio if the ratio is the same as the ratio of the sum of the larger two quantities. Um, Something like that. Oh, now buffet businesses are done. Yeah, man, I tell you. Um, my favorite Indian and only Indian restaurant in our town is a buffet style. So that's it for the. I guess I'll have to change it. Oh, they also have it from the menu too. Um, Super Ellipse by okay, is a table from the golden age of Danish furniture design. Anybody going to a buffet today needs to have their brains donated to science. That's true. I don't know what science would do with it. They got a whole bunch of brains. I think you guys are really dumb. Put it over here. Here's our smart ones. Well, look, guys. Okay, back to the contest real quick. I will today put up something for our dial design contest, and the limitations are. And if you want to put in a golden ratio, that would be very cool. Not sure how, but something creative that would be fun. And I'll get to use my golden ratio calipers. Feed it to the rats. Poor rats, they got their own problem. Oh yeah, right. Feed it to the rats, and then a flea will bite the rat, and then bite you, and we have the new bubonic plague. Uh, yeah, I don't, yeah, science may know, but I don't think people do sometimes about uh, toxic waste disposal. I was reading an article in a New Yorker about a guy who went down 36,000 feet in one of the trenches in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, and they said, "Oh, they use this for a for a toxic waste dump." I thought, "Oh, great! Here you have at the bottom of the ocean, like the ocean doesn't have currents and stuff like that. Not much down that deep, but it's sort of weird. Like that's where we're going to put all of our stuff. Well, you got 7 miles down. That's amazing. Okay, guys, got to run. Take care and be safe. And I'll have that thing up for the contest on High Horology Lounge.